Nilikuja hapa nikamsaidia, nikafikiria ni mtu mzuri. Alikuwa amekuja kube ni fisi, amekuja na gozi ya kondoo.
Hoya guys, back to our YouTube channel. Thanks for your great support. Karibuni tena jioni ya leo niweze kukupakulia nini kinajaribu kufanyika hapa nchini Kenya. Tuko na itilafu kidogo ya umeme, lakini haiwezi zuia mimi kukuambia ni nini imejaribu kutokea. Kwa hivyo guys, opposition team inajaribu kuchanganya President William Ruto kabisa. And William Ruto amekuwa confused ni nani huyu anaenda kuwa flag bearer. Nono watu wangu, nani huyu anaenda kuwa flag bearer? Hiyo ndio kitu William Ruto anajaribu kufight kabisa aweze kurealize. And hii team ya opposition pia inaendelea kufanya William Ruto anakuwa confused. Unaona, wanampatia confusion. Unaona guys, ukiangalia Fred Matiang'i anajaribu kuongea ni yeye anaenda kupeperusha bendera. Rigathi Gachagua ni yeye anapeperusha. Stephen Kalonzo ni yeye anapeperusha. Maraga ni yeye anapeperusha. Okiya Mtata ni yeye anapeperusha. So kumekuwa na confusion. I can tell you. William Ruto ajui ni nani huyu anaenda kupeperusha. Nani inampatia tumbo joto. Kisha tambua, then atakuwa anajua venye atajipanga na kisha kuwekanisha haya majamaa kwa kona. And that's why unaona kina Rigathi Gachagua hawataki kupeana their flag bearer. Na mambo imechemka. Sijui leo kama umesikia speech ya Rigathi Gachagua. And don't forget, Senator Onyonka amejaribu exposing. Yaani wanapeana William Ruto confusion kwamba Rigathi Gachagua ako sawa, Fred Matiang'i yako sawa, Maraga ako sawa, Stephen Kalonzo yako sawa. And show me like video na nasema thanks for your great support. Nyinyi ni watu wa nguvu zaidi.
The budget was passed. Remember? Yeah. Show me any single project that you see that the central government has done with the budget of 4 trillion. Okay, let's remove salaries. Assume that we have given government $1 trillion to pay salaries. How much is left? 3 trillion. Let's remove another $1 trillion to pay our debts, right? So we are left with 2 trillion. Where is it? Have we increased salaries for the police? No. Have we increased salaries for teachers? No. Have we hired some teachers? Yes, but we don't even have the list. If today you ask me how many police officers have been selected and given the opportunity from Kisii County, which I represent, I don't know. How many teachers from Kisii County have been employed? I don't know. If you ask me how many doctors and nurses are employed in Kenya, we don't even have the list. Why? Because these lists are deliberately rigged. The system in Kenya today is that you will never get the total number of people who we have employed in the civil services. You saw the media say, the national government is spending has employed about 1 million people. And a simple government, that means well-voiced people, will do an audit when it comes into office, will look using biometric registration to know how many people are employed in a certain area, and then quantify all that nationally, and look at the departments where these people work, look at their job groups and their systems, which is called IPPD, which is the electronic way on how you maintain the payroll. You check on the man hours that the individuals are working on. You look at the job group that these individuals employed. You know what department he works in. Today, if you ask me how many people work in which department in government and how, I can't give you that. Why? Because historically, this system, the way it's broken, is that we have used the human resource capacity at the Public Service Commission to actually employ people as ghost workers, and we siphon off money.
Is it the same case with what is currently happening in the health sector?
It's the same case you have in the health sector. It's the same case you have in education, where you have fake schools being allocated money from the national kitty, where individuals went and opened accounts, allow these individuals to run those accounts, and the money is transferred to those accounts, and these guys go and pay themselves and take the money. And that's normal. Do you know how crazy that is?
How crazy is it?
It's crazy. If I was president, I would jail everybody. And I wouldn't give a damn what they thought. Because this is not sustainable. You can't be a people running a government which takes care of people who are vulnerable, poor, and are unable to manage themselves. Children are not going to university. You are having, every single thing that needs to be done is not being done because there are cartels within the state that are siphoning off or siphoning out state money. And all that money is going to places like Dubai, they're going to our neighboring countries. And then you dare tell me we have something called ESCC and DCI, which is prosecuting individuals who are corrupt.
So, okay, these bodies too, these bodies, DCI, ESCC, ODPP,
Yes.
are they working?
Depending on which instructions they are given. They are not independent like they should be. They are right now under the control of the executive. Any senator you see being taken to court right now is simply because he has disagreed with the president. He has refused to join the broad-based government. Because you are taking, I can give you an example. Like the other day we had the issue of the impeachment of the Kericho governor. And you are telling me you are bringing him so that I impeach him because he has collared 89 million. But I know governors, some of them working in State House, who had eaten 2 billion. Why don't you start with those ones? At least recover the money and give that money. One is from, I don't want to mention in case somebody decides to sue. But if they sue, oh my God, I love it. Because we have the evidence. You have the Turkana governor, Mutua, in Machakos. What things do we have in his books? Huh?
So they also...
Turkana was my friend. We were in parliament together. The former first governor. You see some of the things that he has done that is incredible. And it's not just them. It's a whole cabal of these guys. And I've said it in public. Look at how many buildings and houses these guys are buying in Nairobi. What is happening in Isli is not a transformation from God. It is a deliberate, calculated agenda where individuals have accessed state resources either at the county level or the national government level. And those are the resources that guys are building new cities and towns in Nairobi. And all these people who claim to be wealthy, and most of them are really wealthy, will never open a single factory to employ Kenyans after stealing our money. So they take it to Dubai, they take it to Geneva, they hide it in the US, and nothing is happening.
So, is it the same thing that is happening with Nairobi governor? Because he was about to be impeached.
I had so much hopes on Sakaja. I remember having spent so much time in parliament. We have a bar where we sit, we take wine, we drink soda and everything. And every time we tell him, boss, your opportunity now, show our country that a young person can take leadership, can manage these resources, can actually be a good leader. And you can be an example of what good leadership is. Nairobi City County is supposed to collect close to 100 billion shillings a year. Where are we right now? 12B. So you're talking about between 85 and 90 billion is being shared. So if I sit here today and break you down how Nairobi County money is being shared, you'll shut up. Guys are collecting garbage which don't exist. In fact, they use county vehicles to collect the same garbage and the county pays them. And these are guys in the executive who are friends of the president. Guys are delivering and supplying water. Guys are doing things which are just overwhelming. Nairobi City County used to have bylaws which control the planning, the development, looked at the population distribution. These things we learn in school. Right now we are building skyscrapers. Soon, sewage is going to be all over the place. Why? Because there's no sewage system which is running and which is functional and effective. So we are behaving like banana republic monkeys who have seen bananas on the tree, and all we do is eat and finish. The ones we finish, we leave some and jump to the next tree. And it doesn't matter who the owner of those bananas are and what those bananas do. And we just sick.
Okay, from the point of how you're talking,
Yes.
it's like Kenya, we collect so much money. Actually, it's like Kenya, we are rich.
I have always
To the
said
point that we don't
Kenya
need borrow.
doesn't have to borrow a single penny. We have 6 countries within the East and Central Africa region: Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Ethiopia, Somalia, and I can give you South Sudan. If you put their total budgets together, is equivalent to what Kenya's budget is. The difference is that those 6 countries have got a population of not less than 300 million. Kenya, we are only 48 million. and we are collecting 4 trillion. So how can for 4 trillion, which is being consumed by the 6 East African countries, where their population is 300 million, be enough where you see Tanzania is moving, Rwanda has done incredible things, Burundi is struggling with their stuff, South Sudan, the issues are political, but you see the countries are running. They are running militaries, they have teachers, they have doctors. 6 countries, if not 7. Then we, who have got 4 trillion, and we have 48 million people, are not able to manage that money.
They say we are 56.
What even you can make it even 60 million. Let's assume we are 60 million. Why are we unable? Is because we have elected leaders who are part and parcel of the cartels of the state oligarchs controlling the state resources, where they begin the planning of budgetary allocations to corruption and run this all the way. And now it has cascaded to the county governments. We should never tax people the way we are taxed. The money is enough. President Kibaki came into power by the year 2002. You know what his budget was? 648 billion. He ran the military, paid all the doctors and nurses. But by that time, we didn't have devolution. He was paying everybody else. He ran a government for 4 years before the new constitution came with 648 billion. He did.
And they built roads.
All right. That is, we had 600 billion. How come when we have 4 trillion, you see nothing? You just see people running a cativette there. You see like a small thing. Oh, we are building. How can you be happy about building a stadium? Instead of telling me you've built an industrial park, which is going to employ 20,000 people. That's our prioritization is borders on idiocy. What is our priority? Yes, I want young men to play football, but we can't all play football. All right, Konza City, which was started by President Kibaki, which is an incredible idea, stopped. Why? We can't give them 9B. Why? Because people want contracts from that 9B. Other people who had that 9B were waiting for them to be paid. Why? Within the Uhuru and Kibaki regimes. So the government which comes in says, we can't pay these people to do projects for Kenyans because they were in that regime.
Doesn't make sense.
There's something wrong with us. There's something terribly wrong with us. Senator, we are never enough with the money we steal. Our God now is the God of money. Anybody who flies out with a helicopter, drives the MG wagon, which is 40 million worth. Some of these MG wagons you see running around town here, they don't pay duty. They come through the airport. Those cars are flown in with aeroplanes from Europe for Kenyan boys and girls to come and just have fun. And our people have no medicines in hospitals, and we don't have testing kits. And we don't have,
Senator, I want us to take a little bit of U-turn from the corruption, but I still know everything in Kenya just revolves around corruption. Anyway, so there's a body that has been set up, though niliona like imesimamishwa by koti, that was to be in charge of the compensation of the protest victim. That is starting 2017 until right now. And they even selected the president of Law Society of Kenya, that is Faith Odhiambo, to be the deputy president of that body. So, and in another interview that you did, you walked out of, it was not an interview, another meeting that you had.
Yes.
You are talking about it, and you first ask, how are we going to compensate these people?
Yes.
When we don't know their names, we don't know their families.
Yes.
We don't know whether they died, where they're still in hospital.
Yes.
And some of them, we don't even know where they are. So how are we going to compensate them? And that brings me to the question, are we ever going to get justice for these people? And how does justice look like?
I happen to be a Catholic in the church. There was a time when the Catholic Church had a clarion cry, no justice, no peace. What we are saying is that our country is or has been deliberately broken down for a certain purpose. If you want a country to not to function well, you first of all make it dysfunctional. The way we do things, the way you, and you can create that dysfunctionality. First, you start with the financials. You kill if miss. Are you with me?
I'm with it.
The idea that the president is bringing where he's saying that we are going to have e-procurement, it is a fantastic idea. But Kenyans know, the governors are saying no. Why? Because if you allow the president to bring in that e-procurement without agreeing with the stakeholders, I have listened to that statement, so let me correct it. We have no contradiction whatsoever. We can get young leaders who are willing to lead, but there are few. My father, when he became a member of parliament and later minister in Kenyatta's government, the boy was 29. Go back and Google his record. Stunning, impeccable, intelligent, smart. How many politicians today do you have in that category? You have a bunch of crooks and con men who have come lately, drive the best car, want to live in the best apartment, go and smoke shisha. They don't give a damn about a hospital having medicines. At women are giving birth without whatever. Who gives a damn? The reason why many of these young, your colleagues, and many of us older people are in power is because we want to have money. So when people are using people like me to criticize and raise an issue at what have I been doing, look at my record. Go and check how my CDF was. I built schools, classrooms, I bought buses for schools within the law. Not in my last 10 years as MP, not a single audit query. Look at what I've done as I came in as a senator. If you are telling me to get young people who are going to run and fight for this country, show me any. We have Babu and Sifuna. Who else is there? Okay, what do your young people discuss? Who are the people who started raising issues about governance in this country? It's people like me, people like Sifuna, people like Umtata. Justice Maraga made a ruling about the elections in the past. He played a role. All right, when people are telling me that Matiang'i has been part of the problem, when Matiang'i was running the Ministry of Education, what did he do? Show me one other leader who has done what he did. When he was the interior guy, go and find out what he did. Who did what he did? He was part of the problem-solving team. And yet, in reality, we are fighting against those forces of darkness, those forces that don't want the country to move forward, those forces that take state resources and share amongst themselves. You see, when I find people raising an issue that people like Onyonka, what are they talking about? Boss, I have been talking anti-corruption messages for the last 15 years. Go and check my clips. Check what I said in 2008 about stealing of public money. Nobody was listening to me. People started listening to me after Gen Zs, and I was in the Senate when I said, I don't know why we are discussing all this. The reality is, all of us in the Senate are thieves. We are corrupted and given money in this house. Whoever said that? So how can somebody tell me that I'm part of the problem? I'm not.
Yala, murders, and many more. So is it...
Do you remember the last time Matiang'i was asked that question, what he said?
No, I don't remember.
So let me repeat. If you want to investigate how those people died, set up an inquiry, bring the people who were in that government, Matiang'i said, and you see, the same people who were in Uhuru Kenyatta's government at that time are the same people who now are in William Ruto's government who are actually carrying those murders which were deliberate on the Gen Zs. The common denominator amongst that is that the people who are in Uhuru's regime are the same ones who are in Ruto's regime conducting the same exercise of killing people. So who should be you looking for? Is it Matiang'i or those people?
Those people.
That's what we've said. And since Matiang'i said that, have you ever had anybody question about that? No, it is too hot to handle. Too many names. Who was collecting the bodies from Rivayala? Where did they take those bodies? Why is nobody talking about who picked those bodies?
Isn't it even absurd that in every regime we have to talk about bodies being collected?
That is why I'm saying conduct a legal framework where we put everybody to account, whether it's Matiang'i or not. I'm comfortable. I'm very comfortable. If it is who, let's discuss it. But you see, in the matrix and the management of our public affairs, what we do in Kenya is when we have a big issue, we usually push it aside and continue as if everything is normal. Everything is not normal. Are you getting me? Number two, I have seen where Matiang'i has actually apologized and said, when you're in government, sometimes when those court orders come, you seem to feel like they're deliberately, and that is obviously because the courts are supposed to be corrupt. By the way, our courts are corrupt. They are bribed by both sides. Our courts will be bribed by, if the National Assembly has got a matter on revenue allocation, you will find that members of the National Assembly will collect money and go and bribe the judges to give them a ruling. When we go to appeal, you will find that senators collect money to go and pay the appeal judges to overrule that. That's the sickness we have in our country. You see what I'm saying? So my point is, the argument is not even whether Matiang'i was not honoring court orders. My argument is the system is so dysfunctional. That's how it operates, the way I've explained. That here we are as members of the National Assembly, and we are both bribing judges to give us rulings on matters which we should have a ruling which is fair. We should have a ruling where the court says this is actually the position of our court, especially the Supreme Court. But now, when I joined in here is when I discovered money is shared according to which side of the administration.
Something is here.
Yeah, the administration is going to manage whatever activity that they want to manage.
Is Gachagua clean?
Not really, but I don't think we are looking for angels. Where are they?
So we are settling for
Get
that.
a list of 15 Kenyan politicians and show me 5
You?
who are clean. I'm one out of those 15. Most probably we are 3. We are 3. I've never stolen public money. I have never unfairly discriminated against anybody. I have always maintained the dignity that comes with the office. I have tried my level best to make sure that I give a true representation of the people who elected me, their views. I do oversight, which is part of my responsibility. There are certain things which, yes, I have done correctly. And indeed, I can tell you, it has not been easy. It has not been easy. Don't think that some of these things we talk about, we are not told to stop that nonsense and who do you think you are? And anyway, look at yourself. You can't even wear nice clothes because you have no money. Useless. Then you're busy saying that we are corrupt. Go and hang yourself. And I always tell them, there is no sweetness in public good. Like when I walk in the streets of Kakamega or in Eldoret and I meet a stranger I have never seen and they tell me, keep fighting. Keep fighting for what you stand for. We know what you're saying. That is what we expect you to do. Don't sleep. Stand up for this country because men and women who are willing to stand up have chickened out. So it's beautiful. So is Gachagua clean? I don't think I have a moral authority to judge him. I really never liked Gachagua when he was in the William Ruto government. Why? Because that's when he started talking about the percentages. So I didn't like him much. All right. In fact, I voted against him because I was the first member of parliament who brought, I was the first member of the Senate who brought the issue that between us and Gachagua, for us who have no shares, what is going to happen? And I felt his politics was tribal. I came to discover later when I went deeper to find out why Gachagua thinks the way he thinks. Gachagua is not being tribal. He's being communal, nationalistic. What the dreams and views of the Kikuyu communities are must never be given an okay by us who are not Kikuyu. But the Kikuyu community must also notice that they cannot discriminate against me because I don't have the numbers and because I'm a minority. That we have a country that we must have a give and take. So for me, Gachagua has finally vindicated himself. He has stood up. He proved that, yes, there were agreements signed between the parties and individuals, isn't it? Weta negotiated na Musalia 30%.
Okay, as we wind up,
and the rest.
Yes. Is the marriage between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio good for Kenyans?
No, because you totally distort the functionality of the system we have, which is a democracy. Democracy is function where you have opposition and where you have government. Now, when opposition joins government, which food is that you're eating? That is the problem we have got. That we in the opposition are supposed to check, are supposed to oversight the national government. Once we have checked and oversight the national government, then the national government either does certain things to change the position of where they are. When you find that that is not possible, It means that we are all now in government, which means we are talking about Kenya is now moving back to one-party state. So Raila is a co-president to President William Ruto, and Raila cannot tell President William Ruto anything. Maybe if he realizes ODM can help him impeach William Ruto, William Ruto then might change his mind and say, let me do this for you so that you don't mess me up.
We are almost running out of time, but I want you to answer this.
Yes.
In the proposed bill that we talked about as we started,
Yes.
there are talks that there's a position for president to appoint a prime minister.
Yes.
So it's the president who determines or appoints who the prime minister is.
Yes.
And most Kenyans have been trying to say that this person is obviously Raila.
Yes.
So is it a right thing to say that Raila is going to be appointed the prime minister if this bill passes, that is going to prolong your terms to 7 years?
I was in Parliament when we were discussing this issue. Number one, you take this state and look at it. There was a positive view as to whether you needed a state like Kenya, which is going to have parliamentary system. Now the system we have is presidential. The parliamentary system is open when you bring in the prime minister, deputy prime minister. The purpose for that is to take our small tribes. Right now, it is only 2 tribes that are eating, presumably. You have the Kalenjin and the Luo, because now they have formed their coalition government. Presumably, if you change the system into parliamentary, then you bring the prime minister, you have a deputy president, then you have these all other positions. It means that these small tribes will also be having something to eat. According to me, a waste of time. This system can be functional. First of all, implement it. Let us make sure that whatever that we picked from the Kibaki regime, where we promulgated the new constitution, let us make sure we lock all the loopholes which were opened up after that, deliberately by President Kibaki's people, by Uhuru's people, and now by William's people. Bring back the country to neutral gear. Fix all this corruption nonsense. Make sure that you create systems and structures which run so that you make Kenyans running as a state which is functional, where Kenyans feel that they're part and parcel of the whole. The purpose of that law being changed is presumably that you are going to distribute positions to everybody or the big tribes in Kenya so that they can balance that. I don't think that is the problem with Kenya. The problem with Kenya is this: fix the corruption, get up structures which are functional, legal or financial, and make sure that this country runs like a beautiful corporation, like the way Safaricom runs, where you make investments which are deliberate, where you create interventions to solve certain problems, where you actually make sure that the state doesn't lose money, where there is minimum corruption or no corruption, and make sure that meritocracy, excellence, and performance is what we give Kenyans as an opportunity for them to love their country and function and work, and don't interfere in making sure that this country goes to the next level.
Senator, that has been a very good interview. But hujatuambia if you are going to have a prime minister or not. But sir,
I can tell you this: if we get the elections coming and we are going to have, we are going to introduce that with a referendum, it will fail. We'll make sure it fails. What we are saying is the constitution we have now is okay.
do you think it's going to lead to another war or protest if it happens?
If they steal it, yes, we'll be in the streets. If they let it happen professionally and we vote and we lose, we'll agree to the results. If they try and rig it the way they've already threatened they're going to rig, I just want to tell Kenyans, we love our country so much, and we don't want this country to be destroyed. We understand what it takes to build a nation. It has taken 60 years for this nation to be built. But if we find that the president and his team are planning and coordinating on how to make sure that Kenya becomes a dysfunctional banana republic of a nation, and they want to steal the elections, I promise you, we'll remove them.
That is good.
Thank you.
Okay, as we finish, look at this camera and talk to Kenyans.
My fellow Kenyans, again, I've had an opportunity to speak with this wonderful team. Young man called Ademba that I got introduced to. He did a wonderful documentary the other day about issues of Kenya. I believe that our state needs good people, a few good people, to try and manage the affairs of this state and make sure that our country moves to the next level. We have too many young people who are frustrated, have no opportunities, and are basically stuck, what the Americans call in the rut. They do not know what to do. Why? Because we have no opportunities for them. I pray and hope that Kenyans now, because we are again moving to the next elections coming.
Nilikuja hapa nikamsaidia, nikafikiria ni mtu mzuri. Alikuwa amekuja kube ni fisi, amekuja na gozi ya kondoo. Alitudanganya na Biblia, si ndio? Tumfukuze tusimfukuze? Na mimi sasa Wakenya wameniambia baada ya kupima wameona dawa ya kufukuza kasongo ni Rigiji, si ndio? Kwa hivyo Wakenya wameniambia nipiganie kiti cha rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Wangapi wataniunga mkono? Wangapi wataniunga mkono? Ya urais, kazi ya kwanza ni kurekebisha masomo, watoto walipiwe masomo ya bure ambayo iletwa na Mwai Kibaki. Tumekubaliana. Kazi na madawa kwa hospitali, akina mama wakienda kujifungua wasilipe chochote. Kazi ya tatu ni kodi ameweka ya housing fund, nitaipiga marufuku. Hiyo ni sawa sawa? Hiyo ni sawa sawa? Kasongo aende asiende? Atembee asitembee? Kasongo aende asiende? Ni mwizi si mwizi? Nani ameua jenzi? Mtu ambaye ameua watoto mpigie kura. Mwenyezi Mungu atalaani nyinyi. Na mwetekere. Na mwetekere. Jenzi mpo? Jenzi mpo? Si ndio? Nyinyi jenzi mchukue vitambulisho, mujiandikishe kura. Mutatoka saa 9, mpige kura kwanza, akina mama na wazee wafuata baadaye. Harambee! Ruto ni one term, si one term. Sasa amefungua hoteli pale Nairobi, pale State House. Mimi nimeambia watu ya Kiambu, hii pesa ya Ruto haina receipt na haina deni. Wewe kula pesa lakini kula hakuna. Hatuwezi zika ndovu na pembe, si ndio? Tunyoe Kasongo, tumutoe pesa yote. Kasongo anyolewa sinyolewe? Kasongo anyolewa sinyolewe? Roiro hoye! Munitafutia viongozi ambaye hawezi saliti na kuuza jamii, si ndio? Viongozi ambaye hawafikiri mambo ya tumbo yao. Usiende. Wangapi wanasema mheshimiwa hapa aende? Harambee! Harambee! Na yule mama, si yule mama, aende asiende? One term si one term? Kasongo aende asiende? Watu ya Roiro mutashika maneno. Nemokomereria. Danyitarwa dhadha nemokomereria matake. Nemokomereria matake. Wangapi watanisaidia kufukuza Kasongo? Harambee! Niko na kijana wangu hapa Kiambu. Kijana mzalendo. Kijana anatetea watu ya Kiambu. Kijana hawezi uza jamii yetu. Mheshimiwa huyu
hey. Roiro hoye! Roiro hoye! Maneno ikaisha, si ndio? Na leo tunakuja kutanga Roiro, our presidential candidate sio mwingine ni Rigathi Gachagua. Jana nimeona mkutano ingine iko huko Githongori, ilikuwa na maseneta wenzangu na wengine, na wao hawakupigwa. Sisi tukifanya tunapigwa. Hiyo ni kuonyesha nani anaogopwa. Gachagua, si ndio? Reke kwere your excellency. Adwa ya Roiro na adwa Kiambu ne magothikereirie na nikio kureta no simama ndio hayo. Sababu hiyo ndio pesa yetu Kasongo amekuwa akikula. Na ndio leo sababu Rigathi Gachagua ametangaza hapa Kiambu atapigania kiti cha urais, na akasema atatengeneza masomo, atatengeneza mahospitali na afya. Kuna moja na muomba aongezee pale mwisho, lazima ufunge Kasongo, lazima ufunge. Na huyu tu ndio anaweza fanya hivyo, si ndio? Moketa koya megoda leo meha haukombozi mayao hena mugoda yu haha iyo mugoda no ratina akiona nepanero mothe juga no ne Kasongo manyitanete na CS Alice Wahome nio marenda koya mugoda wa haru iro mayao maraugire ate title deed ciothe icokio na andu ni makete na ni turenda kuria kanitha wa Redeem to niguo wendirie niki mutarauga kiugo na kimwe, si ndio? Hevo tatu mama marero na tunaambia Alice Wahome tunakuona, sababu mtoto yako ndio wakili ambaye yeye ameanza kukuja ndio wakule hiyo mashamba otire mugoda wake abuko hutio ni muduma yao adwaro irona mwaigwa ne mogwetekera hutio. Harambe! Harambe! Ule mtu onanie na otuga ni sorry todo ari mayao. Mundu ucio kire agituhenia ithuothe guku. Tiguo. Agitwera gutwekera huiru baro atohabatie iguru mayao. Kani na tugitikie te huiru baro no yume haya abate mayao. Lakini raundi hii ni kusikiza raia na kufanya vile raia wanasema, si ndio? Harambe! Harambe! Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Nitwarekanira uguo andu a nyumba itu. Andu a nyumba itu. Andu a nyumba itu. Nyumba ni mukwiyumiriria.